Next month will be a turning point in gaming culture with the release of a game that for so long just refused to happen. I'm of course talking about the ever-elusive Final Fantasy VII Remake. Almost 15 years ago, Square Enix released that infamous tech demo that gave gamers their first look at Cloud Strife in glorious high definition. Now, after 15 years of spin-offs, sequels, prequels, references, and drastically inferior installments, it all led to this. In 1 month, we come home. So let's talk about that weird, edgy sequel. Yeah, Sonic's not the only one with an emo stepson who locks himself in his room while blasting Asking Alexandria at 1 AM on a school night. Final Fantasy has one too. Hey there, Pyromaniacs. Without further ado, we're gonna blaze right into Dirge of Cerberus, Final Fantasy VII. Dirge of Cerberus is a third-person shooter released in 2006. The game was released in Japan to horrible reception, to the degree that Square actually went back to the drawing board and completely retooled the game for North America and Europe. So don't worry, we're definitely getting the good version. Definitely! The story begins right after the events of Final Fantasy VII, so incoming spoilers for Final Fantasy VII. You kill the bad guy at the end. So after defeating Hojo and FF7, our resident emo vampire Vincent Valentine goes back to retrieve his body, only to discover the body is no longer there. 3 years pass, and Vincent is caught in the middle of an attack by a mysterious army. And from there, the story is a complete blur. Maybe it's just because I didn't get super invested in Vincent's story in FF7, because he really wasn't all that interesting of a character, honestly, but absolutely nothing in this story makes sense to me. Now that Shinra's gone, there's another evil organization called Deep Ground that's apparently a military offshoot of Shinra, and they do bad stuff, I guess. Also, it's weird how even though this game is so deeply rooted in FF7's lore, it still looks and feels nothing like FF7. I'm honestly not even sure if Nomura even designed these new characters, because they seriously clash with the FF7 crew. You see, the big bads of the game, the Tzvits look more like characters from Tron or Ghost in the Shell than anything Final Fantasy, and not Sephiroth here just looks like a bad Dragon Ball OC. As for gameplay, I don't know if it's an insult or a compliment to say that I have never played a shooter quite like this one. It's like they wanted to make a traditional shooter while keeping to the RPG roots. The mission structure is one that I can only fully compare to something like Perfect Dark or GoldenEye, with multiple objectives to fully complete each mission. There are many ways to customize your weapons to increase their stats for all situations. You level up just like you do in an RPG, and you even have spells you can cast as a secondary fire option. Heck, they even have a limit breaker option just like in the original FF7, and it's actually pretty cool, if a little cumbersome. As for the shooting in this shooter, it's once again unlike anything I've ever played. You have a pretty large reticle in the middle of the screen, and whatever is in that reticle is immediately locked on, so all you have to do is mash that fire button until the enemy in front of you respectfully stops living. It's an interesting way of implementing aim assist, but it makes gameplay pretty monotonous at times. There's not much to do in each level except shoot the same foot soldiers and snipers over and over again with very little variation. And the variation you do get is absolute
Resident Evil 6.
This game has all the annoying trappings of shooters from the time. Escort missions, turret sections, monotonous shoot it until it dies boss fights. It's all here in spades. Why is this kid so slow? Why are you stopping? Keep moving, for the love of God! They're trying to kill you! I'm gonna kill you! Just unlock the damn door! This escort mission only lasted a couple minutes tops, but it felt like an eternity. And don't even get me started on the turret sections, which feel like you're trying to thread a needle while ice skating near an oil spill. Oh yeah, and the Japanese version had an online multiplayer mode with its own story and missions, with both co-op and competitive game types. Obviously I couldn't play it, but footage I found online looks pretty interesting. I don't really want to be too hard on this game, because I can see the devs had a lot of good ideas that I guess just never fully panned out. I didn't completely hate my time playing, and I could see a lot of potential in here. I'd say if you're a huge fan of Final Fantasy VII and have played every other spin-off out there, play FF10, because apparently it's a prequel or something. But after that, then go ahead and play Dirge of Cerberus. It's not a great game, but it's an interesting experiment that tried to marry two drastically different genres together years before Destiny and Division would try something similar. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you like this video, leave a like and become a pyromaniac yourself by subscribing. Until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.